Cut edge protection on steel roofing. Let's talk about it. I'm Todd Miller with Isaiah Industries, manufacturer of metal roofing systems, and I'm here with another metal roofing education and insights for architects and contractors video. So when we talk about steel roofing, one thing people often ask about is what makes it rust resistant. And I've talked in other videos about the types of coatings that are used on metal roofing which protect that steel from the elements to help protect it against rust and corrosion. But the vulnerable spot is, of course, those cut edges, and there's really no difference between factory cut edges and field cut edges. Typically, factory cut edges are a little more crisp and clean, and that helps. But the reality is, when you cut through a piece of steel, even though it's got a protective paint finish on it, it's got either a Galvalume or galvanized coating on it for corrosion resistance, you are going to expose some of that bare carbon steel across that edge. And that's why it's so important on steel roofs to make sure that you always cut them with a shearing action. You would never want to saw cut it. That's going to leave a rough, jagged edge and expose a lot of that carbon steel. You want a very crisp, clean cut done with a shearing action such as shears or perhaps a power shears or some sort of guillotine, something to make that edge as crisp and clean to expose as little carbon steel as possible. So what keeps that exposed edge from rusting? Well, that's an important thing, because what happens with galvanized, and people talk about things like wipe, well, you wipe over the zinc, you wipe over the aluminum, that protects the edge. That isn't really the way it happens. What really happens when you expose that edge is rainwater goes across it, and with galvanized steel and Galvalume, because there is some zinc in the coating on Galvalume, the zinc ions go into solution with hydrogen. They are carried over that raw edge and they are deposited on it for protection. Now, if you put this metal in a highly corrosive environment, that may not happen fast enough. So rust and corrosion occurs before you get that zinc protection. But this is the reason that galvanized actually outperforms Galvalume in terms of cut edge protection, is because of the amount of zinc that we've got potential to be deposited on that cut edge to protect it from corrosion. Aluminum ions work differently. They do not get deposited on that cut edge. So the reality is that cut edge protection with galvanized is superior to cut edge protection with Galvalume. Most people won't tell you that. I'm Todd Miller. Look me up on LinkedIn, Todd Miller, Metal Roofing Expert, or if you want more information, drop me an email at todd.miller@isaiahindustries.com.